Alright, welcome back everyone. Once again, I'm Niz, and you're watching the Semi-Pro Cup series on NizCast. Now, we've got a few extra people joining us tonight, so welcome aboard. But we've got an interesting match coming out ahead of us. We've got we're in the quarterfinals. This is OverAchievers on the Radiant side. They're going to be going up against a team that didn't tag up, but their team KS. Not sure what the KS stands for. I'm going to think of it as King Surf. If you've been watching Dota for a long, long time, you probably remember King Surf International from Dota 1. They were definitely a team to watch for quite some time, as they were pretty dominant in the scene, I'd say. But I don't think this is the same roster. It certainly isn't, but they could probably still put on a good show for us. But let's catch back up in the draft here, as I'm kind of slacking behind. We've got Jug, Axe, and now Shadow Fiend banned out by Chaos. And OverAchievers choosing to ban out the Troll, the Bat, and the Pugna. First picks for either team. Vengeful Spirit and Tidehunter picked up by King Surf, or KS. I'm going to keep accidentally calling them King Surf, apparently. And Bristleback and Lion getting picked up by OverAchievers. See the fourth ban going through for KS, and that's Tinker. So what do we have thus far? We've probably got both of our offlaners in the Tidehunter and the Bristleback, and two of our, I'm going to say, more active supports in the Vengeful Spirit and the Lion. Now we see OverAchievers with their fourth ban being the AA, and that kind of paves the way for a Dazzle pickup, which they're going to pick up, and that's definitely going to be their more passive support. Probably going to be playing the 5 role, allowing Lion to get that Blink Dagger up a little bit sooner. The Dazzle Weave, of course, obviously pairs incredibly well with the Bristleback, giving him a lot more armor so that he's a lot more tanky, but also reducing the armor of your opponent so that his Quill Sprays are doing quite a bit more damage. On top of that, the Bristleback can go pretty aggressive with his positioning and really get in your face, because he's got a Shallow Grave backing him up, as well as some of the heals coming out from Dazzle as well. Now, Cass... Well, the natural counter, or the best counter, I should say, against Dazzle is going to be the Axe, because you can just chop someone's head off despite Shallow Grave, but of course they ban that out. And the second counter, I'd say, or strongest counter, would be the AA, but of course OverAchievers ban that out. So I'm not sure what KS is going to look to pick up here to deal with the fact that they're going to be going up against a Dazzle. Maybe they just won't pick anything specifically going up against a Dazzle, and they're just going to rely on having good, strong team fight, so that despite OverAchievers having the Shallow Grave, it's not going to matter, because they're just going to stomp so hard in a team fight that a hero staying alive for a little bit longer isn't going to be the biggest deal. But they're going to go with Lina, and well, it's kind of hard to Shallow Grave a target when you're going up against Lina, because Lina just kind of blows them up immediately. If she's going with, well, and we can assume that she's going to go with the Yule's combo into Stun, Wave, Laguna. There is opportunity there for the Shallow Grave to come out from the Dazzle, but if you're in the middle of a fight and the target gets kind of low and then Laguna comes out finishing someone off, that's a pretty big chunk of health that the hero is going to still have remaining before that Laguna comes out, and that's a little bit difficult for Dazzle to kind of know when to throw at that Shallow Grave. So a little bit, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the Dazzle player, whether it be
10 seconds remaining.
I was going to say Solfu or Frugos, but it looks like they're not playing with Frugos this game, so he must have had to step out.
Team ban.
But they're going to go with the Sniper to pair with that Dazzle, Bristleback, and Lion. And the Sniper, of course, is going to capitalize on the fact that they've got the Weave, taking increased damage from physical sources. But also, Dazzle's a hero that's going to be able to keep the Sniper alive through the Shallow Grave if need be. And Bristleback's going to complement it as well by being that big body in front of the Sniper. And then the Lion's got the CC if anyone kind of penetrates that line. Or just to kind of prevent anyone from being able to get anywhere even close to the Sniper. Dro will be the pickup for KS. And that gives them the potential to actually go for a relatively early Roche. It's also going to be their safe laner. So they're just going to look to finish up their roster with another support hero. And OverAchievers will ban out the Visage, so they're a little worried about that kind of combo. Just the sheer burst damage that can come out from a Visage is always scary. As well as Grave Chill is actually quite big against Bristleback. It's kind of underrated, I'd say, in how strong Grave Chill can be at limiting a hero like Bristleback that really relies quite a bit on his move speed to really continue to keep himself positioned well in the team fight.
10 seconds remaining.
Fifth and final ban will be the Slark.
5 seconds
Now
remaining.
Overachievers have to make a decision here. Are they picking a safe laner? Are they picking a mid
Reserve
laner?
time.
I have a feeling that they're probably going to park the sniper in the mid lane and they're going to go with the safe laner here. Who that is, I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's going to be, or they're going to look for a hero that's going to want to fight a little bit more. But I can't really think of who that would be. Of course, Slark was one of them, but he just got banned. Well, Overachievers doesn't know immediately either, as they're taking their time with this pick. They do have the option of parking the Bristleback in the safe lane as well, and picking another traditional offlaner, maybe going with like a Centaur. And then you have like two really beefy bodies that are going to be pretty active in the mid game and help protect your sniper. Not sure if they really want to go down that route. It doesn't really give them too much late game. I mean, you're just... It doesn't. It's kind of awkward. I don't think Overachievers is going to go that route, though. I think they're going to either decide to park the sniper in the safe lane, or they're going to go with a more active safe laner. And the difficulty is, you know, you're going up against Alina, and Lina's pretty much the strongest, I'd say, overall laner for the mid lane currently in the meta. She does well against pretty much every matchup. So it's difficult if you want to choose a mid hero that's going to be pretty active in the mid game to go up against Alina.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, they're going to use actually all of their reserve time, going right down to 7 seconds with that last pick they had, the entire lot of it going into that pick. And they're going to choose to go with the Spirit Breaker. I can't say I saw that coming. That hero was not even on my radar. But looking at that, I'm going to have to say it's Bristleback. Actually, I don't know now. It could be Bristleback offlane, or it could be Spirit Breaker offlane. The changes are going to be whether or not
10 seconds remaining.
Spirit Breaker's in the safe lane or the off lane, or the Bristleback's in the safe lane or the off lane.
5
The sniper
seconds
looks like he's going to be mid, and then the two supports are going to be complementing
Reserve time.
whichever safe laner, or whichever... Yeah, I'm going to say whichever safe laner. And they're actually going to pick up a Storm Spirit. So is this a support Lina? I'm going to have to think it is. So Tidehunter off lane, and then Storm mid against the sniper. Drow safe lane with Venge and Lina supporting. They could be really greedy and throw Storm in the jungle, and then actually lane Lina mid, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. But we'll have to see. Well, both teams picking with their 5th pick, something I didn't anticipate. So that's always good to see. But let's introduce the teams before we get too far into this. So we've got Overachievers on the Radiant side. Playing their Bristleback is going to be I Love You All, and he was a safe lane farming anti-mage last game. So look if they're going to maintain their roles or not. Pig in a Bag is going to be playing the Spirit Breaker. He was their off-lane clock. Fear the Reaper is going to be playing the Sniper, most likely in the mid lane. We got Sulfu on the Dazzle, and we've got the new guy on the scene is I have no idea. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I think the end, like HJKE, is kind of pronounced like hike or hikey, something like that, but I'm probably just going to refer to him as Lion. Well, let's move on to the Dire side, where hopefully these names are a little bit easier to pronounce. We've got Team KS playing their Vengeful Spirit is going to be 2K Dodo. I have a feeling he's probably a little bit higher than 2K if he's made it this far in SCS. We have Top Axe playing the Lina. We have 05 playing the Drow Ranger. We have Maka playing the Tidehunter. Looks like we got action up at the top rune, where our last hero, the Storm Spirit, looks like he's getting quite low, and we're going to see First Blood once again going to OverAchievers. They get the kill on that Storm, which I have yet to introduce, and they may look to even get another kill here onto the Lina, who, one more auto attack is going to come out because Pig in a Bag got the charge, giving the sniper the vision. And once again, OverAchievers start off with 2 kills right off the start of the game. And let's actually introduce the last player so we don't forget about him. It has to be a name that's difficult, right? Desesperation? I think it's like desperation. That's what I'm going to probably call it. Desperation. He's going to be playing the Storm Spirit. Well, in terms of unique starting items or anything like that, actually, I think the Dazzle, the fact that he picked up his boots already is quite significant. But of course, them getting First Blood is going to allow him to do so. But besides that, we've got the typical supports that you'd expect to get boots first in the Lion and the Vengeful Spirit. Besides that, we also have a set of sentries picked up by the Dazzle. Neither team's starting with a smoke. Let's take a better look at the lanes here. We've got the Drow safe lane with the support Lina and Vengeful Spirit. They're going to be going up against the off lane Spirit Breaker. In the mid lane, it is that Sniper versus Storm Spirit matchup. And in the bottom lane, that leaves the Tidehunter up against the Bristleback, the Dazzle, and all the way over here, the Lion. So I'm going to have to say that both offlaners are going to find themselves in a rather difficult position in terms of being able to get any kind of CS, but mainly they should be able to get a little bit of XP because both are relatively tanky. But I don't think they're going to be able to get too much gold because it's very difficult for them to control the lane. And as long as the enemy safe lane is doing a good job of managing creep equilibrium, they should be able to keep to at least XP start. Fear the Reaper getting desperation quite low. 2K Dota going deep for this one with the double damage room. He's going to go down. We even have a charge from the top lane as Spirit Breaker is going to be running in. Is he going to dive the tower? He's going to charge right through the Lina, and that actually worked out exactly, that actually worked out perfectly for them, as it looked like the Storm Spirit was definitely too deep. They didn't want to dive under the tower, and even if they didn't charge through the Lina was probably going to be able to land a Light Strike Array onto that charging Spirit Breaker to disrupt that charge. But the fact that they were perfectly lined up, that meant that they were able to get the bash stun onto the Lina, and decided to switch off the Storm and go for the Lina instead, and it worked out perfectly for them. I Love You All seemingly got a solo kill in the bottom lane up against the Tidehunter. So OA 5-0 just 3 minutes into this game. And well, Chaos looking to change that up. Both supports have smoked up. They're going to try to put a little bit of pressure on to this sniper. Keep in mind, they didn't start with a smoke, so this probably wouldn't have been expected coming out so early, but unfortunately, they're not able to get the opening onto the Fear the Reaper. They got just close enough to pop their smoke, and then they were kind of stuck on the high ground. They had to make a decision. Are they going to go for it or not? They tried to, but weren't able to get in range. Desperation in trouble here as Solfu has come to the mid lane to back up Fear the Reaper. And that's going to be one dead Storm Spirit. But will Fear the Reaper be able to get out of here safe? And it looks like he will. Solfu not having any mana to be able to shallow grave if needed there. But it wasn't really necessary. He did have enough mana to Shadow Wave, which he actually used to nuke the creep wave in the middle and get a little bit of CS. And while all that was going on, we had another solo kill in the bottom lane. I Love You All getting a second kill on this Tidehunter. So Tide just getting a little bit too greedy with his positioning, trying to get maybe a little bit too much XP and CS, and just kind of getting caught out by this Bristleback. Not once, but twice. And, well, is Maka going to return to the bottom lane, or is he going to run to the jungle? Looks like he's going to actually... He was a little hesitant. He got about halfway towards the mid lane, and now he's deciding to come right back to the bottom lane. Well, he's actually gotten a decent amount of XP. He's only half a level behind, and somehow we got another solo kill as Fear the Reaper gets a kill on Desperation in the mid lane. And there's a bunch of solo kills happening in this game, which typically you don't see. You don't see, players getting solo kills in kind of a 1v1 matchup. But we've had plenty of them this game, so maybe
Dire's middle tower
KS playing
is
a little
under
bit on
attack.
tilt. Maybe they're just taking a little bit of time to get into the swing of things here, as they had to wait a little bit for OA to be ready for this game.
Middle.
Now, Desperation needs to be careful, as the line is sitting there in Viz, and with Soulfu coming, they're going to combine. It's going to be 3v1 here, and Desperation's going to go down again. The Assassinate will fly through, but it actually won't finish him off. Soulfu will get the kill with the final right click. And I have to keep my eye on bottom, as Maka losing a little bit of HP, but not going down this time. Maybe I Love You All will potentially look to tower dive here. So we won't want to look away from this for too long, and he's doing just that. He's going to dive past the tower, cutting the creep wave, and with a few quill sprays, he'll deal some damage to Maka, but I don't think he's going to be able to go too crazy and try and get a kill here. Meantime, we see the supports in the top lane for the Dire side. They've tried to
Dire's
make a
middle
few
tower
rotations,
is
but they
under
just
attack.
haven't worked out for them. And now it feels like they're just kind of locked into this top lane, not really able to go anywhere, as they've lost a lot of map control right now. OA just basically found themselves off to an early start, and really taking a stranglehold position onto KS here, and not really giving them any space. And that's that's exactly how you want to play. If you can get an early lead, you might as well kind of lock your opponent down and not let them get anything. Well, Top Axe could find himself in a bad situation here. Nope, he will be able to just snake his way on out of there, falling through that opening in the trees there. Soulfu and now will actually just make a rotation away and move back to the top rune location. They actually don't see that rotation because that observer ward just went down, but they all moved out here, so they at least know that he's not there anymore. In terms of levels, look at the level discrepancy in the mid lane. We've got just over level 8 on Fear the Reaper. Desperation only 5.5, still doesn't have Ball Lightning. So Fear the Reaper definitely taking advantage of that, really doing everything he can to bully Desperation. Take a look at the Tide. He's almost level 6, so that's going to be good for them, having Ravage coming back up. But you can see the difference. Pig in a Bag almost a full level ahead of the Tide. So OA getting quite ahead all over the place here. And they're looking to further that as they're trying to get another opening up onto Desperation here, who still isn't 6. Fear the Reaper may have wandered a little bit too far, playing a little bit too aggressive, but he doesn't have to be too worried because, once again,
Dire's
there's
middle
no Ball
tower
Lightning,
is
which
under
means
attack.
Storm doesn't have any way to close the gap. He'll even find a haste rune. Soulfu and the Lion and the Spirit Breaker will come in from behind, but we lose Soulfu and the Lion pretty early on into that. They will lose the Lion and the Storm as a result. So once Fear the Reaper comes back in, they start cleaning up some kills. Looks like they're going to get a third here as 2K Dodo's going to go down. And once again, Pig in the Bag with the charge, giving the vision for Fear the Reaper to get those final right clicks off.
Radiant's top tower
I love
is
you
under
all.
attack.
Just rushing past this tower. He doesn't care at all. Bullying
Dire's
Maka.
bottom
Unfortunately
tower
not
is
able to
being
get
denied.
the kill on the tower there, as
Dire's
Maka
middle
getting the
tower
deny
is
there. And
under
he'll
attack.
throw out the Ravage, but it just doesn't hit Pig in a Bag. Pig in the Bag actually choosing not to dive there, as Desperation and 2K Dodo are TPing in. And now Desperation with that level 6 will look to get a kill here onto I Love You All, but he needs to be careful. He's used all his mana. They will get the double with well, almost everyone on the Dire side arriving to help out there. The only one not showing up is 05 in the top lane, as he's just been kind of farming away. But now the Lion's made his way up here to get what he can and soak a little bit of XP, try to get closer and closer to level 6 so he's got Finger of Death available to him. But in terms of gold, he actually doesn't need too much. He's 0, 2, and 6, but he's got his Tranquils up pretty early in this game. He already has a Sick and 600 gold. So he's doing quite well for himself. Both supports on this Radiant side have been doing quite well as well. Well, we've got Boots of Speed up for Soulfu, although we got those pretty early, but he's got 700 gold on hand, and he's already replenished all his support items that he's going to need for the next few minutes. Those
Dire's
observer
structures
wards
are
he's
fortified.
been holding on to for quite some time, as those came off cooldown about 4.5 minutes into this game, and we haven't had any new ones go up since the first set expired at 7. I Fear the Reaper getting chased down by 4 heroes from KS. But with Sulfu TPing in, and the fact that the sniper is pretty damn fast with that Mask of Madness, he was able to get away. He'll throw the Assassinate out onto top axe. Won't get the kill on him. It just brings him down to about 90 HP. But now I Love You All has arrived on the scene. He'll basically park himself between the tier 1 and the tier 2, and that allows his team to complete that kill onto Maka there. And now Desperation. He's behind enemy lines, and he's been spotted out. He's going to ball lightning away and then TP. And he'll be okay. While all that was going on, we had a kill in the top lane as 05 went down. Where is he now? He's still dead, of course. As 05 went down.
Dire's middle tower is under
And I
attack.
think we had...
Dire's
no, we didn't even have
tower
Finger of
has
Death
fallen.
used for that. It was Pig in a Bag and... Well, Pig in the Bag was the one who got the kill. I imagine it was the Lion combining for that. Yeah, he did get an assist on it because he was 0-2 and 5 when we looked just a second ago. Well, Pig in the Bag is now up here, but it's going to be 2v3, so I don't think they're going to try to really press their luck here. They have another 18 seconds before the Nether Strike is off cooldown. So they might look to see if 2K Dodo rotates around and finds himself out of position, or maybe Top Axe looks to make a rotation as well. We have Sulfu now coming up and joining them, so it's no longer a 2v3, but at the same time Maka's coming up. So it's going to be a 3v4, but they are going to initiate, and as soon as they see Maka, they're going to try to back up. The Earth Spike comes out, it lands on 2, but unfortunately misses probably the most important target, which was Maka. But they choose not to use the Ravage there. And they're going to try to chase down Sulfu, who I believe should be fine. He has 360 move speed. These other heroes are actually slower than him by 15. But Desperation will jump in, go after Sulfu. And Sulfu will go down. Pig in a Bag. We'll use the Nether Strike onto Top Axe, but there comes the Ravage. We've lost both the Dazzle and the Lina, and now Fear the Reaper's here. And they're going to try to focus down 05, so the Drow is in trouble, but so is the Lion. But I think the Drow's going to go down, and I think the Lion should be fine. Instead, they're going to actually start chasing down Maka on this Tidehunter. Keep in mind, Desperation's still in behind, trying to set up these remnants on the high ground, so someone's going to walk into it, and it's going to be the Lion, who will get the Earth Spike off, and that actually is not working out for the Storm at all. He will get the kill, but Fear the Reaper will get the revenge. And it's 18-7, and just 12 minutes into this game, Fear the Reaper is beyond godlike on this sniper. 10-0-4. My goodness, what a start we've had for this sniper. And on top of that, he's second in CS, 65-10. And let's actually switch on over to net worth. We can see that he's definitely ahead in that with 10 kills as well as that CS, as he's already at 8K. Basically 1,600 net worth ahead of the closest challenger, which is actually his own teammate in the Bristleback, and almost 4K ahead of the top farmer on the Dire side, which is the Drow. So Chaos definitely not out of this yet, but they've got a long road to climb before they're going to be able to do so. And this is not the opening they want. It looks like they're going to lose 2K Dodo. Oh, Desperation. He tried to help out. Now he's in trouble. He's in the middle of 3, but he will ball lightning over the trees and get back. But once again, he's burned through all his mana. He doesn't have anything besides just the treads and the null.
Dire's top tower.
The charge will be on 05. And 05 is going to walk right towards Fear the Reaper, and Fear the Reaper is probably going to look to turn this around. Laguna being used. He doesn't really have too much to worry about in terms of damage coming up from that Lina. He maybe could have manned up a little bit more there, but who am I to tell him what to do, as he's already 10-0 in this game and looking to make it 11. Not able to actually get the kill there on the Lina. But he says, oh, well, I found a Tidehunter. Maybe I'll just get the kill here, and he will. That's going to be 11 for him.
Your life's a flash
Owe just completely in the driver's seat in this game. Let's quickly bring up the gold graph. We're almost at 12K gold lead just 14 minutes into this game. XP is going to look similar as well. Not quite as high, but already surpassing 7,500. And they're going to look to continually push that advantage as this tier 2 in the mid lane is going to go down. Not sure if they're going to just back on this tower kill, or maybe even make a rotation to the top and go for that tier 2.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
The Tide will be respawning, and we'll have Ravage available, so maybe they're keeping that in mind. But they are so far ahead in this game thus far. And let's actually bring up the hero levels, and we can see that the Vengeful Spirit, not even level 6, about to hit level 6, but still not even level 6. It's actually, you see how far Sulfu is behind. He's only just 6 on this team. That's pretty dominant. But the top three, the three cores on OA, are probably the most significant in terms of XP leaders. They've all hit level 11. They've got rank 2 of their ultimates. And no one on the Dire side has that available to them. They have smoked up here, and they are 5, and they're going to look to engage here. Soulfu will have to use the Shallow Grave on himself. That means Fear the Reaper is actually going to go down. So they've lost 2 here. It looks like they may lose more. Never mind. I Love You All is going to come in and start cleaning up, as he's already got a double, make that a triple. Now he's going to go for 4. As he's actually not going to try to chase down the Venge. Instead, he's going to come back and help his team getting the kill on Desperation. But it's going to be a 4 for 2. And I'm going to have to see what the show fight recap looks like. I imagine, yeah, it is actually going to be slightly Chaos favored. They're that far behind that the comeback mechanic is actually going to give them more gold, despite them going losing 2 extra heroes. You have to keep in mind that they also got that Beyond Godlike streak for killing Fear the Reaper. But they still will look to go after Roche. And what's interesting is, I'm guessing they're going to put this on the Bristleback? Because it looks like, well, actually, Fear the Reaper may be able to get there in time. He's got his haste bottled, so yeah, it looks like he will be able to get there in time, and he will be the one carrying the Aegis. Interesting. The Lion hasn't picked up a Blink Dagger. Instead, he's actually gone with the Dagon, so giving them a little bit more burst. And they will get the kill on Roche, but it's not Fear the Reaper who will hold on to the Aegis. It will be the Bristleback of I Love You All. So expect that Bristleback to play incredibly ballsy and really in-your-face dodo. And while we've got a moment here, let's quickly go through all the heroes and see what they've got. Well, Soulfu got his Mana Boots and a Sobi Mask. Sage's Mask. I'm not sure why I called it Sobi. Must be called that in... Was it called that in Dota 1? I don't know. Either way, we've got Pig in a Bag with both the Urn, the Tranquils, and now a Shadow Blade. So that's going to help him get a little bit better positioning and maybe even just initiate into the fight and then allow him to snake out with a Shadow Blade if he gets into a bad situation. I Love You All has his Vanguard and Treads, and of course that Aegis, but he now just delivered his S and Y, so he's got that available to him as well. Lion just picking up that Dagon, as we mentioned, as they were killing Roche. And Fear the Reaper has his S and Y, his Mask of Madness, his Treads, his Aquila, his Bottle. He's pretty much got everything set up for his first core set of items, I'd say. Now it's just a matter of continuing to pile onto that. But we take a look at the Dire side and you're going to see just how poor they are. We've got Tidehunter, who's managed to pick up a Bracer. And he's got 1,000 gold on hand, so he's quite a ways away from having his Blink Dagger. And look at this, OA just pushing this top right into the base, the tier 3. And while we're doing that, we'll still go over the items, as we've got Lina, who's almost got her Yule's finish, and that's going to be big. But that's a support Lina, basically having more gold than the Tidehunter. As we can actually look at the net worth, and she's actually, okay, behind by 100 gold, but it's pretty damn close. And we're going to see our first set of racks go down here in just 18 minutes as the melee racks is about to fall. Maka's trying to walk in and use the Ravage, and he's put himself in a pretty good spot. But they may not even have to use it. Actually, he's going to go down before he's going to be able to. Great positioning from OA. Soulfu managing to survive by just using that Shallow Grave. Desperation will try to dive after him, but there's the Lion with the Hex. But they're not able to continue the CC, and Soulfu will go down. But it is 4 heroes dead for the Dire side. We will get a buyback from Top Axe, but we already have GG's Well Played coming out. And that was a little bit of a quick one. We had to wait for a while. We may have actually had to wait longer for the match to start, for the actual match, before the... We had to wait longer for the match to start rather than... I don't know what I'm trying to say. The duration of the game was shorter than when we waited. That's what I'm trying to say. But... that just means we get to go into the next game a little bit sooner, and we get closer and closer to the finals. Our next match will be the semifinals, and I'm not sure who they're playing. I'm guessing it would be the winner of the match that we were watching before that. It will be Peppy's Love Stack, or Love Shack. I guess those names both work, but it will be Peppy's Love Shack that they will play in the semifinals. So we're going to jump into that game in just a minute. Once again, I'm Niz, you're watching NizCast, and this is a Semi-Pro Cup series. If you're enjoying the cast, please feel free to follow, both on Twitch as well as my YouTube and my Twitch channels. All of those are and my Twitter. All those are NizCast, so they're nice and easy to find. The VODs for this game will be uploaded by tomorrow morning, roughly, so you can check those out on the YouTube. But we've got another match, or another lobby to hop into, so I'm going to be hopping into that, and hopefully you stick with us for the remainder of the 2 games of tonight. Thanks for watching.